Primitive and peculiar, there are things unlike any animal or plant we've grown to know. In time and in fear, man has come to know them as Mushi. This is a brilliant quote that introduces a wondrous world where nature still holds its grasp on anything that resides within it, including humans. Mushishi is an anime with a subdued approach towards the idea of environment. The story is structured around a specialist named Ginko, as he wanders across the land in search of new Mushi, and those who need aid from the resulting danger they cause. This isn't a story that anime tends to be known for, with clashes of gigantic personalities to splash the screen with Sakura goodness. But instead, it has a wide array of stories to portray how the hidden battle of nature and man plays out all over the land. Now this means the world building of this work is amazing, especially in regard to nature, which is something I previously thought that only Studio Ghibli was capable of. Humans really do take a back seat here, but that's a good thing, since it really wants to hit on that point that we're only one part of this giant puzzle. Mushishi are kind of like park rangers mixed in with witch doctors. Now if you think that's strange, Ginko is an odd one even by Mushishi standards. He is a mysterious fellow, to say the least, especially seeing how he is rocking designer shirts while everyone else has yukatas. In time you can't help but notice it. He's very knowledgeable about Mushi, though he never shies away from asking a question if he doesn't understand what he actually is looking at. He's often sarcastic, and somewhat of a pessimist, but he's still quick to help. He cares for both man and Mushi. It seems as though he is a man of dual nature. He only seeks to balance all the pieces that this world has to offer. The burden of man and wilderness, conflicting within, is actually represented by the fact that he has a Mushi living in his left eye. As he carries it wherever he may go, a reminder of its presence shows that nature is part of all of us, and for him, it's quite literal. The show's episodic format may seem uninspired at a glance, but the creativity comes from the fact that humans need help, all in their own unique ways. Each Mushi afflicts and takes away from the victim in such a befitting way that it's almost artistic. A village that has the devil's blessing of good harvests at the cost of a life. A mother that is slowly robbed of her memory, but can still recall her husband that has long abandoned her and her son. And a blind girl that was granted the eyes of God. Each story has its dedicated arc that resolves itself within the roughly 20-minute episode. All the complexities and shades of humanity have only that much time to reveal themselves, as each episode delves into their exact reasons of becoming afflicted. At times, it may seem as though they would be better off killed by Mushi, and other times, it's just an unfortunate fate they've been given. And the thing about Mushishi is just because they're cured, doesn't mean that suffering that's already been afflicted is undone. Like any other disease, the cost that's paid is often heavy and unretrievable. But that's life, right? You have to pick up the pieces and keep on going. Seeing how this anime has its basis on the struggle of two parties, it's great how it strives to be impartial. There is nothing really at fault here. The Mushi inhabit a beautiful world, and it's amazing how they fit right into it. So how does it make sense that they should be exterminated? It seems that the Mushi Ginko has to tackle with throughout the stories are just as varied as the people who need his assistance. Yet despite all the variations, one common thread that links all of these Mushi together is the fact that they're just as a part of this world as water, sunlight, and gravity. Even as they are feared, there's a certain curiosity that we can't ignore about them. They're a force that's mysterious and beyond our comprehension by any hope. So we go on and continue to learn more and more about them. But no matter how much we claim to know, their inherent diversity and ambiguity is the appeal. Their entire existence can be likened to an abyss. You can sense its presence, but you can't pinpoint it exactly. Each of the separate stories of Mushishi tie back to the common idea that man is second nature. Usually, Ginko is able to cure the person of their affliction, but there are times where he can't because it's too late, or he doesn't know how to stop it. No matter how much this person can squirm or fight, death and loss will come to them. But it's never done in a way that provokes pure anger or sadness. It's stated throughout the series that the Mushi just carry on doing what they do, carrying on what is the most minimal of life. They work as one of the many cogs that make this world turn. If humans were to attempt to wipe them out, they'd only find desolation to greet them, since Mushi is the essence of life itself. It's stated in the work that all Mushi are born from a river of life. This is a rather direct visualization of the Mushi's role in this world. This river contains the essence that nourishes the surrounding area, and when it dries up, well, everything else does as well. And this idea has rather broad implications with it, since the viewer can see, if they, the Mushi, die, we all die. Which translates roughly back to us as, don't be an asshole to our world, alright? Sometimes though, the impact of Mushi on someone's life is so great, the story can turn from one of global commentary to one of tragic personal loss. One such story is of a man that Ginko finds in a forest and is unable to escape, as well as causing the others the same fate if they accompany him. It's later on seen that he was friends with a girl that inhabited the forest. This girl never ate and only drank water that she carried in a cup. Being unable to leave, children from the nearby village visited her often and kept her company. One day, a boy that played with her grew thirsty and asked for a sip from the water she carried. From there on, he was also unable to leave the forest. Yet, he didn't mind this since he wanted to be friends with her. As they grew closer and closer, they eventually fell in love. Of course, by then, the child had come too. But this birth was a little different. It was from this fact that Ginko then realized that the woman and her daughter were merely children of Mushi. This particular Mushi used them as extremely mobile roots. The woman, learning of this fact, set out to cut down the tree, since it was the reason her beloved couldn't see his hometown anymore. Due to misunderstandings, she unknowingly caused her husband more pain with her seemingly pure intentions. Unfortunately, this would lead to her and her daughter's death. His entire Eden was in that forest with his family, but even that was still fleeting. This loss is devastating, but he has no choice but to accept it. Although death doesn't end every single episode, it is a very real possibility for any of these people. But in the end, death isn't facilitated by an intentionally malicious entity. It was just the effect of another being's attempt at survival. This work is one of reservation, an artistic vision that I'm glad I got to experience. Just the way it sought to build a world where if the human species' monopoly on domination wasn't actually a guarantee, helped push the idea that we aren't as far-reaching as we think we are. And that's fine. That's because beyond the boundaries of human civilization lie a world that has operated under its own rules for much longer than we've been here. There's a place where life just goes on.